Young and talented riders bring their Aprilia machines to Oulton Park for round 5 of the series. In the 450s, David Allingham is dominating the championship and sits on pole position for this round, whilst in the 125s, newcomer Charlie Nesbitt is giving the experienced riders a run for their money. Steve Day's in pit lane with the latest update.
Yeah, thanks very much, Grace. Well, the weather conditions here have changed overnight. A very sunny qualifying yesterday. Rain, wind expected here. We'll get on with the Aprilia Super Teens in a moment. I'm just in pit lane here. Got a few of the 450s here. Dean Court, Will Hodgson working on his bike. I just want to take you through here, though. It's all hands on deck. Championship leader in the 450s, David Allingham, took a bit of a tumble in this morning's warm-up. And as you can see here, all hands on deck. David's team, even Ian Newton, getting himself involved there. And hopefully he'll get himself ready for that first race. Of course, he's got a nice championship lead. He's won 7 out of the last 8 races. But first things first, let's get down onto the grid, ready for race 1 of the Aprilia Super Teens. So here we are then at Oulton Park in Cheshire, ready for this first race. The weather, as I mentioned there in pit lane, really can't make its mind up. We've had drops of rain here and there, so there are some damp patches, especially under the trees here. As you see, Bradley Peary, number 97, currently second in the championship. There's the championship leader, Zach Corduroy, number 22. And coming into this weekend, he has quite a lot of wins that he's stacked up. There is young Charlie Nesbitt, number 86. We'll catch up with him a little bit later on. And we get ourselves ready for this first race. Oulton Park, probably one of the most technically challenging circuits for the riders. If you've not been to Oulton Park before as a rider, it takes some getting used to. And it's not one of those circuits that's particularly forgiving either, because if you make a mistake, it does bite you. Away from the line we go. It didn't look like a great start for championship leader number 22, Zach Corduroy, but as they head down into turn 1, that's Will Keynes. What a start for Will Keynes, number 7. The sky blue wheels, of course, all of these bikes absolutely identical, but a really solid start for Will, who's around 5th or 6th in the championship. And that's just behind him, number 86, Charlie Nesbitt, the 12-year-old. Then series leader Zach Corduroy in 3rd. Ross Simpson, number 95, 4th. Bradley Peary with a pink hat, pink wheels, just tucked in his slipstream as they come around extremely fast. Island bend here. Down on the brakes then into Shell Oil's hairpin. A banked corner. You can carry a lot more corner speed into here than you originally think. Then up through the gears, out of here, short stretch to the Folkestone chicane. And that there, number 101, is Curtis Drew up ahead of Thompson. But leading this race still at the moment, Will Keynes, but he's under a bit of pressure as they just come out of this chicane. They then go over the hilltop, down the back straight. That's Zach Corduroy in 2nd, looking very dangerous. He's got himself ahead of young Charlie Nesbitt into Hizzy chicane. The newest part of this circuit slows them down just as they come up towards Knickerbrook, the hill. Zach Corduroy then, a run of decent wins for him. He's extended his championship lead to almost 100. These are, of course, because it's a one-day event at Oulton Park, double points races. So 50 for the win, 40 points for 2nd, 32 for 3rd. Under the bridge they go, exiting Druids and then heading down towards Lodge Corner, one of the best overtaking places that you can have on this circuit, and then over Deers Leap before they make it onto the start-finish straight to complete this first lap. And Zach Corduroy has taken charge of it, no surprise there. Number 22, the series leader. Sorry, that's Charlie Nesbitt just up ahead of him, so they're side by side. Will Keynes is still doing okay there, he's in 3rd place. And then you've got Ross Simpson and Bradley Peary as they exit turn 1 and then come down the hill into Cascades. This wonderful, long, winding left-hander. Will Keynes there being challenged around the outside by Ross Simpson. Great move from Ross. And Bradley Peary is going to have a go also. So Will Keynes losing a couple of places there down into Cascades. It's Corduroy that leads from Nesbitt. Simpson 3rd, that's Peary in 4th, and Keynes in 5th place as they come over towards Shell Oils. And look at the speed advantage that Corduroy's got just going into the Shell Oils hairpin there, with Nesbitt in 2nd. This is a good performance from young Charlie Nesbitt so far. He won't have seen Oulton Park before the start of this weekend, and Will Keynes there throughout the entire weekend. Will Keynes has been about 3 or 4 tenths of a second per lap down on the leading group, and he's having a look over his shoulder there, maybe a bit concerned that he won't be able to keep the pace up with the front runners. Corduroy leads from Nesbitt. There's Simpson, the pink helmet, as I mentioned, and pink wheels for Bradley Peary, and then Will Kane's doing his best now to try and stay with the leading bunch. Further back, 101 is Drew, 37, Jordan Boyle, 74 is Thompson. So Joe Thompson there having a good run. And number 19, nice to have Aaron Clifford back with us, the Irishman, the young Irishman, former Irish Aprilia Super Team champion. Back to the front we go, and there's a change for the lead. And we've got Ross Simpson now that's poked his nose in front. Couple of spits of rain on the camera lens there. Shouldn't affect these riders too much, but the last lap flag is out. Will Keynes has been dropped from the group. They head down into turn 1, and it's Simpson from Corduroy. Corduroy now trying to get the drive on the exit. He uses all the curbs there. He will lose a bit of time. Has that allowed Bradley Peary back into this race? And don't count out Charlie Nesbitt, who's currently in 4th place. And Peary now has gone ahead of Zach Corduroy. So it's Simpson and Peary, 1 and 2. Corduroy has been on the podium every race this season, and more often than not, he's on the top step. But Nesbitt's looking dangerous in 4. They're 3 abreast down into Island Bend, 4 abreast. Unbelievable stuff here from the super teams. The quickest part of the circuit, and Corduroy's now going around the outside of Simpson, which will give him the inside line into Shell Oils. He goes up into 2nd. Is he having a sniff at 1st place now? Well, they exit. Peary it is that leads. Number 95, Simpson, alongside Zach Corduroy, and then Nesbitt there in 4th place, still with a chance of getting on the podium. Into Fulston chicane. Then over the hill, it's important to get some decent drive here, especially on these Aprilia 125s. The 2 strokes down the hill into his ease, and will there be a challenge for the lead? No. Peary has it from number 95, Ross Simpson. Corduroy uncharacteristically in 3rd at the moment, but he's got some excellent drive out of his ease, and he pulls up alongside Ross Simpson. And that will give him some decent drive going through Knickebrook as we look further back there. That's number 101, Curtis Drew. Aaron Clifford's a part of that. Jordan Boyle as well. That's about off 7th, 8th, 9th. Nathan Harrison and Will Keynes are in 5th and 6th. And we've got a faller. And that looks like it could be 69 David Ince. Just have to wait for confirmation. It is, yeah, 69. David Ince, one of the newcomers, just fallen, but as we come now, the final lap, final turn, and it's Simpson, a beautiful move, textbook into the final turn. Corduroy's hanging it around the outside, trying to get a say in this, but it's not going to happen for him. And Charlie Nesbitt's fighting back also. Across the line we go. That's a beautiful win for Ross Simpson. Wonderfully executed on the final turn. Peary takes a good 2nd, and Corduroy's not on the podium. For the first time in 2013, the championship leader has bitten off a little bit more than he can chew there. Charlie Nesbitt, an excellent 3rd, right at the death. He wins the newcomer race. William Keynes in 4th. I'd go as far as to say that's the best super team race we've seen all season long so far. Excellent stuff. And the newcomers, Nesbitt the winner ahead of Jordan Boyle and Kine Masters.
3rd in the race overall, but 1st in the Nitro newcomers, Charlie Nesbitt. That was such a close race there. It could have been any 4 of you that came over the line.
Yeah, it's an amazing race, battling all the way through it, just amazing.
And you like it at Oulton?
Yeah, I do now, yeah.
You do now. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank In Competition, Scott Finley, Steve White at Swindon Electricals, my granddad in Plumside.
Well done, Charlie, thank you. The 2nd position overall goes to Brad Peary. Brad, again, that was such a close race between you. How did you keep going?
Well, I kept the throttle pinned. But, yeah, I mean, I thought, you know, I got to stick with Zach and Ross. They're the ones that was going dead fast all weekend. But then Charlie got involved, and then we passed Will, but then I think he just dropped off a little bit. But then Charlie got involved, and he was like, he actually stayed up there. I was like, whoa, we've got 4 now. And then, yeah, I wasn't really passing the whole race, because everyone was so late on the race, and I was fast on the power. And I thought, so, but then last lap, I got into 1st, and I thought I got braked really late the whole last lap. But then, yeah, I got past the last corner. So now I'm 2nd.
Well, the bike's done you well. Any sponsors to thank?
Obviously, I'd like to big thanks to my dad, Ryan Morris, Brian Gregg. I got a lot of people coming down to watch me today, because he's my closest one, unlike Brands Arch. But so I got Marcus Peary, Shell Peary, Wayne Torres Roofing, a kid from my school actually is here, Will Montgomery. Just absolute, Giz, just absolutely everyone. Plungas, Steve Day for letting me use it. Oh, she's shouting out with time. Okay, bye.
And the winner of that race, Ross Simpson. How did you manage to win that race? It was so close between you four.
Yeah, definitely. Got off to a really bad start. Then I had to try catch them up, which I just done gradually. And then I started to pass them, but I kept swapping out of gears. And then Charlie and Bradley would pass me again. And then I got into first in the final lap. Then Bradley and Zach took me. Then I got Zach. And then into final corner, I just broke my latest and got Bradley and just won. Happy.
Well, you hope for a second performance in the next race. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank 151s, NGK Spark Plugs, Kabuta Helmets, Hundron for designing my helmets, Andrew Jones. I'd like to thank my mum, my dad, all my friends, Thunder Sports, Dunlop and Aprilia.
Well done, Ross.
Great stuff, Ross. Coming up then after the break, don't go away, the in-competition Aprilia RRV 450 GP Challenge. Welcome back to Oulton Park. It's time for the Aprilia RRV 450s here at Oulton Park. There's Bradley Jones, number 75, second on the grid. And there is Lewis Rollo, young Scotsman, reigning Aprilia Super Team champion, who's having a good couple of rounds. But on pole, championship leader David Allingham on the B-More Aprilia. Further back, look out for Will Hodgson, number 14. The likes of Ross Twyman, of course, number 15. Ben Luxton, number 9 on the JDF Aprilia. Looks like we're ready to go, though. And away from the line we go. A few damp patches still on the circuit. We've had some rain, and it's Allingham that leads from. It looks like Will Hodgson got a decent start and is up to second. You can see the spray being kicked up there. Most of the riders have gone for wet tyres. It's just simply not dry enough. We've had a few sprinkles of rain. Third place there, 75, Brad Jones. And then we've got Lewis Rollo in there. Further back, there's Louis Dawson, number 34. Keenan Armstrong's having a good weekend so far. But that's Ross Twyman just up doing. There's Keenan, number 28, the bright yellow helmet, doing very well this weekend. A lot of confidence. But David Allingham, nothing seems to faze him at the moment. 7 out of 8 race wins, as we mentioned. We saw that in warm-up he had a tumble, and they were working very hard to get that bike ready for this race. Well, they've got it done, and he's out, and he's leading, and he's already trying to pull away. Coming into this event, David was already over 100 points clear of the next rider, which is Ross Twyman, number 15, leg dangling. But second place there was Will Hodgson, but up the inside, oh no. Bradley Jones thought about a move up the inside, but just stayed where he was. Further back there, you can see the JDF Aprilia of number 9. That's Ben Luxton from Stockport, as close to a home race as he'll get this season. And Keenan Armstrong there out of the saddle as they exit Hizzy chicane. I wonder if he's been able to stay on board. He has. Bit of a heart-in-mouth moment there for Keenan, and he's just lost track of that massive group of riders battling out for second place. But what can you say about this young man at the moment? 18-year-old David Allingham, the Irishman. What a performance from him in the last few rounds. I noticed on Twitter he's been even getting support off a certain Eugene Laverty. So his progress is being monitored by some of the best Irish riders in the world, and at the moment he is doing a good job here in these horrible conditions. Ben Luxton now up to second, but Bradley Jones moves ahead of him. Will Hodgson's just slipped back into 4th place for now. Further back, we've got Alex Baker, who's up inside the top 10. Ross Twyman's not having much fun here today. There he is in number 15, just behind Ben Luxton, number 9. Lewis Rollo there, young Scotsman, number 8, after a fine effort at our last round at Cadwell Park. He's looking full of confidence again, and I mentioned Baker before on the Red Blade Racing Aprilia 450, just a bit further back. Bradley Jones still looking for that first Aprilia 450 win, and he is in second place. But David Allingham already storming out front. Just in the background there, I noticed a quick glimpse of number 36, Dean Court. Dean, new to racing realistically this season. Very much a rookie at most of the circuits that he visits. This is his local round. and he's out there on the Piper Works Aprilia, and he's making good progress. His lap time's pretty good. There he is, number 36, just up ahead of Lewis Rollo. That's a battle going on between Will Hodgson and Alex Baker further back, gingerly making their way through the Hizzy chicane. But out front, David Allingham, what a performance from the championship leader. Look at this, he exits Druids Corner, and he's already on his way down towards Lodge before the rest of the field exit Druids. Very impressive performance in recent weeks. Speaking of recent weeks, I've noticed in the last fortnight a bit of rumour and intrigue and gossip suggesting that the 250 GP bikes might be joining these 450s on the grid for 2013, so keep yourself pinned to that Thundersport website. Allingham it is that leads then. Bradley Jones in a solid second, then Twyman, caught now up to 4th place, up ahead of Ben Luxton, number 9. Ben, who has been taken under the wing now by John Davis, a JDF, of course. John, who's helped out many a rider towards victories in the Aprilia Super Teens and in the Aprilia 450s. If you think back to the likes of James Folkard and Chrissy Rouse, etc., Fraser Rogers, then you'll remember that they won with the orange and silver JDF colours on their black Aprilias. So it's still Bradley Jones. It's the fight for second, ahead of Court now, who's got ahead of Twyman. So Dean Court, who's never had a podium in this class, it's his first full season of racing. He's on for his first podium here. And what a result that would be for him. The youngster would take a lot of confidence away from that. Allingham's already through Hizzy chicane and now about to exit it. And Bradley Jones comes in second place. Oh, and Ben Luxton having to take the offshoot there, having to sit up, go straight on, and he'll lose a lot of time. And that's a shame for Ben. Should just mention about Bradley Jones, actually, during qualifying, he was on pole after lap 2 of qualifying and then crashed. Red flags came out. He was in the medical centre for the rest of qualifying. It was only in the final 30 seconds that David Allingham managed to take pole position. But we'll keep an eye on number 75. There he is at the moment, coming into the final turn here at Oulton Park, Lodge Corner. Currently 4th in the championship, but this is double points in this race. So if he can hold on to second place, he would certainly close in on Ross Twyman and Harry Coomber. Quick mention for Harry Coomber, such a shame for number 61, Harry. He's actually only got in about 7 laps this weekend, including the warm-up day, practice day, because there's problems with his bike. They cannot get it fixed. And so Harry's not been able to go out, and in this double points race, he won't be picking up any points. Such a shame. Dean Court has now got himself up into second place, ahead of Bradley Jones. So Dean Court up to second, and this certainly would be a personal best finish for Dean. What a result. He could be on for purely a rider that's just feeling a little more confident in these obscure conditions. These are really tough conditions for riders, because it's not full wet and it's certainly not full dry. They're out there on wet tyres, but Dean's obviously found a bit more grip from somewhere. There is David Allingham, your race leader on the Bmore Aprilia, well on his way to victory here, and 50 points. Just looks so comfortable. There is Dean Court in second. Bradley Jones still pestering him, though, in third place. Bradley knows how important these points are. Dean Court not in the top 10 before the start of this weekend. He might sneak into the top 10 after it, though, if he can stay in second place. They look like they might have just caught up with David a little bit, who's rolled off the pace just a smidgen. And as they go down into Lodge Corner and then exiting, he's had a look over his shoulder. He knows how to manage his gap over the top of the hill, and the checkered flag is out. There's yellow flags down into turn 1, so he may have lost someone, but that's a fine win for David Allingham. That's 50 points for him. Second place, and hats off to Dean Court. What a result for Dean, his personal best finish, and what a time to do it when there's 40 points on offer. Bradley Jones takes third place. That helps him out in the championship, and Ben Luxton, I'm not sure we've seen a better result from Ben this year than that. Will Hodgson will be 5th, Lewis Rollo 6th. There'll be disappointment for Ross Twyman, who's finished 7th, Alex Baker 8th, and Keenan Armstrong finished ahead of Cameron Lee 9th and 10th, and there's a happy David.
And third position goes to Brad Jones. A good race there, Brad. You're battling all the way. I thought you were going to get second, but Dean Court just got you there. But still, a third must be good after your accident yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was a good and bad day. Obviously, you had qualified second, which was good, but I only had one flying lap. It was a bit high, so I was a bit sore in the leg. but obviously it didn't affect me out on track. Obviously, that was a good race. Dave got away at the start, and I was battling with Ben and Ross came past, and I wanted to stay second and get out in front. But I got rid of them. Then Dean came past, and I was much faster than him in places, and he was loads faster than me in places. So, but I tried it to the line, but I did my best. So I'm happy to come away with third after yesterday.
Definitely, well done. Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Just like to thank everyone in the ABPAC, Bridgestone, Seal Clean, all that. I'd like to thank EC Electricals. Big thanks to my granddad, and a big thanks to Dad for yesterday for getting the bike sorted, because there's a bit of damage to it. So yeah, thanks to everyone. And I'd also like to thank Russell Docker for helping me out. Thanks a lot.
Well done, Brad.
Cheers.
And second position goes to Dean Court. First time on the podium. I thought you were going to have third, but you even managed to crawl up to second. That was an awesome race.
I got the worst start. I made it so hard, but I don't know. It seems to like these conditions, so went all right.
You're going really well. Good luck for your next race. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, can I thank Pipeworks, Motorcycle Exhaust, Asco Engineering, Ian Newton in competition, all my friends, family that have come up to help, Cameron Troy Lee for some levers, and Motorcycle FX for some paint. I'm sorry if I forgot anyone else. But
Well done, Dean.
Cheers.
And first spot goes to David Allingham, who had an awesome lead in that race. You didn't even see any of the battles behind you. You were that far in front.
Yeah, I'm actually happy enough. I didn't get to see any of the battles behind me. First lap, I just thought, go for it first lap, break them all, because I knew once the conditions start drying up, they'll maybe start catching me up again, you know. So I thought, first lap, go for it. Came over the line at, I don't know, second and a half, so I was like, right, keep pushing on now. And yeah, just after that there, I just really controlled it. I just watched my dad, the pup board, and Roy and the pup board, so yeah, they were just keeping me right, and yeah, just controlled it to the end, and happy enough with that.
A really strong race for you. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Beemore, Silkeline, Bridgestone, Ian Newton definitely, because he wouldn't be out without him, and my dad and Roy Grimes. I'd also like to give a thank you to my friends Laura and Lauren coming, my mum, Gail, and David, and everybody. Thank you very much.
Well done, Dave. Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, 2 races down, 2 still to come. Join us again after the break for those Aprilia Super Teens. Welcome back to Oulton Park. Time for race 2 for the Aprilia Super Teens, and let's see if we can't get ourselves another cracking race. Zach Corduroy, number 22, leads the championship ahead of Peary Simpson, and then Nesbitt is 4th in the championship. Number 86, the youngster, he may be new to Aprilia Super Teens, but he's certainly not new to motorcycle racing on the whole. Let's find out a little bit more about this young rider.
Hi Charlie, you're currently riding in the Aprilia Super Teens this year as a Nitro newcomer, but you've been riding since the age of 4. Can you tell us about some of the racing you've done in the past few years?
Yeah, I've done a lot of races. I started racing since I was 6, and I've done racing in Spain for a year, and I've nearly came second in the European Championship, and so yeah, done quite a lot of racing.
So you're riding an Aprilia 125 this year. It's the largest capacity bike you're riding and on the bigger national circuits. How does it compare to some of the other places you've been and the other bikes you've rode?
Yeah, the bike's a lot heavier and it's got a lot more power, so that combines with it, with the speed. And the tracks, they're just amazing. They're wider, they're more flowing, just amazing.
And we saw you quite a bit on the podium at Cadwell. It was sunny weather, it was hot. We're here at Oulton and it's raining this weekend. How do you think you'll do?
Yeah, I hope I'll do good, but all you got to do is really just smile and relax.
Definitely. Well, we wish you luck in your race. Back to you, Steve.
Well, go on then, smile. Charlie Nesbitt there, pretty cool, calm and collected for how old he is. He's ready to start this race. There's a bit of cement and sand down just on the inside line into turn 1. That's from some oil earlier on, but they should be able to miss that. The normal racing line down into turn 1 shouldn't be a problem for the Super Teens as they come around turn 1 here at Oulton Park, Old Hall Corner. And then down the avenue and into Cascades, it is young Charlie Nesbitt. We just spoke to him there, number 86, that leads from Bradley Peary. Those of you that have been watching may be able to spot the fact that Charlie Nesbitt runs Scott Redding replica hats, and that's because Scott actually passes down the helmets. They are hand-me-downs. Scott helps out with his own academy in Minimoto Racing, and Charlie has come through that academy, and now he's setting off in his own road racing career. So Scott obviously keeping an eye on young Charlie Nesbitt. He's just popped down to third place for now. Zach Corduroy, championship leader, in first place. This race also a double points. There's Curtis Drew, number 101, ahead of 37, Jordan Boyle. Jordan Boyle, one of the Nitro newcomers in this race. Now, Corduroy was not happy. We didn't get a shot of it. He was not happy at not finishing on the podium for the first time in race 1, so I wonder how he's going to respond here. There is number 19, Aaron Clifford, the young Irish rider, new to the Super Teens this year. And what a great start Aaron has had. He was 6th on the grid, but he's not known for particularly great starts. Speaking to his dad on pit wall, and he said that if he can get those starts sorted out, he might be able to fight for 3rd, 4th place, and that's exactly what he's doing at the moment in 4th. So Zach Corduroy it is that leads. Clearly anger makes him a quicker rider. That's a bit of a worry for the rest. Charlie Nesbitt doing well in 2nd, Peary 3rd, and then in 4th place we've got Clifford. We lost Will Keynes, by the way, if you're looking out for Will Keynes on the warm-up lap. Paul Will, who's having a great weekend and gradually improving round by round. Will has crashed on the warm-up lap. Hopefully he's up and okay. Number 74 there is Joe Thompson. And so Joe having a good run out. And I believe he's picking up some new sponsors. We'll be able to pick that out in the next round in Rockingham, hopefully, for him. There is Zach Corduroy, though, the championship leader. But we are starting to see signs. We spoke to Charlie Nesbitt just a moment ago. Gradually, he's getting quicker and quicker. He's getting closer and closer to the tail of Zach Corduroy. He's currently 4th in the championship, but if he was to finish in 2nd here, 40 points, he would close up on Bradley Peary and Ross Simpson. Ross Simpson, who won race 1, unfortunately, another rider, another casualty from this race. He had a problem on the start there, just before he lined up to get on the grid. His bike has been pulled over to the side. So agony for Ross Simpson, who was so good in that earlier race. But what it has done, of course, is given a chance to the likes of Charlie Nesbitt and Aaron Clifford to fight for the podium. There's Curtis Drew. He's behind Joe Thompson, but ahead of Jordan Boyle at the moment. That's the battle for 6th and 7th. Behind these guys, Nathan Harrison, Lewis Good is up into the top 10. Tristan Finocchiaro is also now just into the top 10 and is currently 3rd of the newcomers, battling away with Daniel Drayton, Kai Masters and Ed Best. They're all separated by about half a second, and that is the battle for the final place on the podium for the newcomers. There is Thompson up ahead of Curtis Drew and Jordan Boyle. The battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. As I mentioned before, double points, it all matters. Thompson at the moment, 10th in the championship. And there he is, ahead of Drew and Clifford. Zach Corduroy, meanwhile, out front, doing a pretty good job at the moment. The anger from race 1, not getting on the podium, is clearly helping him, and he's trying to clear off out front. This is the battle for 3rd. Bradley Peary with the pink wheels, and Aaron Clifford, the young Irishman, with the blue wheels. And Aaron Clifford having a really good race. Aaron started off the season so well at Brands Hatch, the season opener, and then got himself injured. Missed a round or two. Oh, we've got another. Oh, and that's Ince again. David Ince, who fell in race 1, got a mechanical failure now. So shame for David. Hopefully we'll see him back again soon. Meanwhile, out front, Corduroy still leads from Nesbitt. Then they're about 10 seconds ahead of this group between Peary and Clifford for 3rd and 4th. This is the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. And just there at the back of that group, number 23, Nathan Harrison, who's coming on strong towards the end of the race. And he's trying to get himself into that group. Then just a couple of places behind, you can see there Cameron Tenting Jenkins, who's up there ahead of the likes of Kai Masters, Dan Drayton, Tristan Finocchiaro, and Ed Best. So all looking good here for the remaining points. But this is your race leader, Zach Corduroy, just managing that gap well enough at the moment ahead of an improving Charlie Nesbitt. I really think you're going to remember that name, and you should do, because Nesbitt and Corduroy are probably going all the way. And a couple of the riders further behind. We're going to see improved performances from them as the season goes on. There is this fight again for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Joe Thompson still just ahead of Curtis Drew. Curtis Drew, 101, a rider that is easily capable of fighting it out at the front. Just going through a little bit of a grey patch at the moment, but nothing really to worry about. The rider from Cirencester has got plenty of talent, and we've seen him performing well. He's got a win in the Aprilia Super Teens earlier on in the season, as the last lap flag now comes out for Zach Corduroy. Zach, when he wants to win, he wins, and he's doing a great job out front. His lap times are about 0.4 a second quicker than Charlie Nesbitt. This fight for 3rd place looks like it's going to go towards Bradley Peary as well. Thompson there ahead of Drew and Boyle, and Nathan Harrison, number 23, just at the back of that group in 8th place. Will be wishing he had another couple of laps. There's Lewis Good just going through in 9th place, and Finocchiaro at the moment is fighting it out with Drayton and Masters. What's happened to CTJ? Cameron Tenzing-Jenkins has just gone back a bit from that group, so maybe had a mistake somewhere. But there is number 22, Zach Corduroy. What a season he's having so far, and he's going to extend his championship lead. And after the disappointment of losing out on a few double points in that first race, he's come bouncing back and answered the critics, and he'll be a very, very happy young man indeed. Number 22, Zach Corduroy from Blueberry. Down into Lodge Corner for the final time. This is a wonderful win for Zach, and he extends his championship lead before we head into Rockingham. And there we go, what a win for him. It's a shame for Ross Simpson and Will Keynes that they couldn't take part in this race. We may have had a different story, but Zach is back to his winning ways. A really good solid 2nd place though, and 40 points for Charlie Nesbitt. And we're starting to see the best of Charlie. Bradley Peary managed to hold off Aaron Clifford and take 3rd place. Joe Thompson did hold on to 5th. He finished ahead of Curtis Drew and Jordan Boyle. So there's a happy winner, Zach Corduroy, centre of your picture. Championship points for him as they head into Rockingham. There you go, look, almost a 100-point lead now over Bradley Peary. Nesbitt has moved ahead of Simpson now into 3rd place. And there is Nesbitt. Even though he's on the top step, he's still the shortest. The winner of the Nitro Newcomers, and he has a healthy advantage heading into Rockingham ahead of Jordan Boyle, Cameron Tenzing-Jenkins and Daniel Drayton.
3rd place in the Nitro Newcomers. Tristan, it was a good race for you there, your first podium. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, we've been trying to get it for ages, and it's just such a relief to get it.
And you like Oulton Park?
Yeah, really nice track.
Yeah.
Loads
And
of
you're looking forward to Rockingham. What do you think to that track?
I've been down it once, and hoping for another podium there.
Excellent. Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Pewterline, Laundry 24/7, Interlink Direct, Cyben, Redditch Motorcycles, Redditch Tigers, and Steve at Motortrack.
Well done, thank you. And 2nd position in the Nitro Newcomers goes to Jordan Boyle. You've had some good results this weekend in the Newcomer Championship. How do you think it went?
Yeah, it was a good ride, 2 second places. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Excellent. Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I thank Artel Copiers, my dad, Paul Keys, Steve from Motortrack, my brother and my mum.
Well done, thank you. 1st position in the Newcomers, but 2nd overall, Charlie Nesbitt. A good race for you then. Not as close as the first one, but you still enjoyed that one?
Yeah, it was a good race, just well done to Zach. And so, yeah.
Do you prefer battling with the boys, or do you like a clear track to yourself?
I prefer battling with the boys, just makes the race more fun.
And any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Scott Finley, Swindon Electrical Service, Steve White, my granddad, Plum Serve, Aprilia, Dunlop and Thundersport.
Well done, thank you. Brad, 3rd position overall. A good race for you there, but you had some battles with number 19. How'd you feel that went?
Yeah. I mean, 3rd, like, some was great, but then, you know, I like saw battling for the lead, and you know, I had a little bit of a close problem, but you got 3rd, so it's better than like Ross had someone on the start and Will crashing the wall lap. So getting 3rd, at least it's still finish your race.
Exactly. Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Ryan Gregg, Ryan Morris, Torres Roofing, everyone that's come to watch me this weekend, Almatines, RST, OSX, Dunlop, Aprilia, just everyone.
Well done, Brad. Thank you. And Zach Corduroy, the winner of that race. You didn't get on the podium in the first race, but only just with that four-way battle. But you took the win today with a storming lead in this race.
Yeah, I mean, without Ross, really, it wasn't exactly what I call battling and really good race type thing. But it was good to like get my win again type thing.
I'm sure he'll be back at Rockingham. How do you think that will go?
I think it'd be amazing, because we both like Rockingham, so I think it'd be a really good race.
A really good race. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Machine Shack, Pewterlin Oil, Aprilia, Super Team, Dunlop, and everyone. Yeah, brilliant.
Well done, Zach. Thank you.
Well, if motorcycle racing doesn't work out for Bradley Peary, then life in the Big Brother house beckons. Join us again after the break for the 450s. Welcome back to Oulton Park for the final part of the Aprilia Challenge, and it's time for the 450s again. Bradley Jones there. Can he stop David Allingham? Can Lewis Rollo get himself back on the podium? They all need to try and stop this man, David Allingham, on the Beamer Aprilia. Fourth on the grid there for Will Hodgson, number 14. So what can we see from this race? Allingham just clearing off in the championship at the moment. I spoke to one or two of the riders before this race, and they said they're going to do everything they can to stop him from winning, because this championship will be over in a couple of rounds' time if they're not careful. But Allingham is just so good. I mean, look at him already. Up the inside, he's got the advantage down into Cascades, and he's got all of the confidence as well, as we just see further back there, number 34 and number 5. That's Louis Dawson and George Stanley, former Super Team runner. Now, Allingham it is that leads through Island Bend, ahead of 75 Bradley Jones. Hanging it round the outside there, going reasonably well, is number 8. The reigning Aprilia Super Team champion, Lewis Rollo, and Will Hodgson going for well, he's trying to invent himself a new line through Shell Oils. That nearly went pear-shaped, but he's held on in 4th. Dean Court, who finished 2nd in race 1, is in 5th. That's Gideon Thomas, number 67, who's having a good race. If you missed the first race, as I mentioned before, Harry Coomber not out on circuit. The bike is not running at all, so he's going to not score any points. Such a shame for Harry, who was a title rival and still is, but he's going to have an awful lot of work to do in the second half of the season, providing they can get that 450 back together and ready for Rockingham at the end of July. David Allingham it is that leads on the Beamer Aprilia, the Irishman who leads the championship by well over 100 points now. This another double points race for him. He exits Druids and under the Warwick Bridge towards Lodge Corner, and it's going very well for the Irishman so far. Scotsman now in 2nd, number 8, Lewis Rollo, then Bradley Jones and Will Hodgson. Further back we've got Ross Twyman, Louis Dawson, Ben Luxton, Reese Hutchinson, Keenan Armstrong. And no sign of the Thackerys this weekend. I believe they're on holiday. So they'll be back ready for Rockingham. It's a funny time to book a holiday, but we'll welcome back number 94 and number 95 next time out. Allingham leads, Rollo 2nd, Bradley Jones 3rd, number 75 and number 14 there. Really, really looking very quick indeed is Will Hodgson. And he's getting tucked up into the slipstream now as they head round Island Bend, and he's got himself ahead of Bradley Jones. Just behind Bradley Jones is number 36, Dean Court. We mentioned that he got his career best finish in race 1. Conditions a lot drier out there now, so it is just making David Allingham's life at the front a little more hectic than it was. Everybody's pushing it now. And Dean Court's advantage from race 1 not quite being carried through as much in race 2. Having said that, just the confidence of taking a trophy and 40 points has put him onto that group. We normally wouldn't see him fighting with those guys. So that's just how much progress he's making. It looks like, to me, Lewis Rollo in 2nd is closing in on David Allingham out front, number 11. We'll just have to wait and see. And it is definitely, you can see as they exit Hizzy Chicane up the hill and into Knickerbrook. It is David Allingham that still leads, but Lewis Rollo is looking like he's ready to make a challenge, and Will Hodgson looking lively just on the inside of the picture there, number 14. And Will is still in third place there, but he's doing well. Dean Court just struggling to hang on to that leading group, and he could be involved in a bit of a lonely race in a moment. Further behind Dean is a fight going on between Ben Luxton, Ross Twyman, Louis Dawson and Rhys Hutchinson. And then further back, there's another great battle going on between Keenan Armstrong, Alex Baker, Gideon Thomas, George Stanley, Cameron Lee, number 58. He's having a tough time this weekend. They've had problems with tyres, problems with the bike. He's hoping to be back fighting fit, ready for Rockingham. But I do know that he's got a former Aprilia Super Team champion doing his pit board here today. Joe Francis is currently on pit board for him. And Sam Edwards, Sam, pretty new to the 450s, currently taking the final point in 15th place. In fact, it would be 2 because it's double points. At the front note, it's young Lewis Rollo that's taken the lead ahead of David Ellingham, but for how much longer? To really get a grip on beating David, you need to bump him down to 3rd or 4th. He rarely features lower than 2nd in any race, but at the moment, there he is in 2nd behind Lewis Rollo. Will Hodgson in 3rd there. Looked like he just had a bit of an out-of-seat moment, and he's lost momentum for sure, because Bradley Jones is now side by side with him into Knickerbrook, and then they'll go around Clay Hill and into Druids Corner, out of Druids Corner, under Warwick Bridge and towards us. And Allingham has got back out front again. He's carrying so much speed into Druids. He leads. Bradley Jones has been dropped, so Will Hodgson is now fighting for 2nd place along with Lewis Rollo. The last lap flag is being held out, and David Allingham might have just left it really well. This is typical Allingham. Typical David Allingham. He's left it until the last lap. He's pumped in his fastest lap of the race, and he's got himself maybe just enough of a gap to win this. This is the battle going on further back. Number 9 there is Ben Luxton, 48 Rhys Hutchinson, that's 8th and 9th. But has Lewis Rollo got anything left to challenge David Allingham for the win? And will Hodgson have a say there in 3rd place? These 3 have broken away from Jones in 4th. So I don't think Jones is going to be able to fight for the podium now. There is Allingham, head tucked under the screen. Into Fulston chicane we go. You need to carry plenty of corner speed through here so that you can get the drive up and over the hill and onto the back straight. And at the moment, Rollo, the first opportunity to overtake here has gone into Shell Oils. The second opportunity to overtake into Hizzies has gone. And Rollo's probably going to have to be more concerned about Will Hodgson in 3rd than he is about catching Allingham, because I think Allingham's got this one in the bag now. There's not enough time. He's not close enough into Knickerbrook, and Will Hodgson, however, in 3rd place, he is definitely close enough to challenge for 2nd place, and in fact he's gone through. So Will Hodgson is now up into 2nd place as they come down towards Lodge. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for Allingham out front. That battle for 2nd continues. David Allingham extends his championship lead. Can anyone stop him in 2013? It's going to be close for 2nd. Across the line just goes to Will Hodgson. What a result for him. And that's his best result for a few rounds now. Solid 40 points ahead of Lewis Rollo. Bradley Jones does finish 4th. Another good result for Dean Court. He finishes 5th. Ross Twyman will be pleased to see the back of Oulton Park. He finishes in 6th place ahead of Louis Dawson, Ben Luxton, Rhys Hutchinson and Keenan Armstrong. Let's have a look at them on the podium, all smiles. There is David, winner again. We're getting used to seeing that. Let's have a look at the points then as they head into Rockingham. Allingham, it is, look at the size of that lead, almost 200 points he's now got, but Bradley Jones sitting well there in 2nd place ahead of Twyman and Hodgson.
3rd position goes to Lewis Rollo. Another podium for you here after Cadwell. Is your championship looking up for you now? You're getting a lot of podiums lately.
Yeah, I know. Well, at the start of the season, all our bad luck, and I think that's us just got our luck back, getting podiums at Cadwell and now podiums here. So everything's looking up. I just hope it carries on throughout the championship and we can hopefully catch up and maybe gain some positions in the championship.
Definitely. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Tops Scaffolding for buying my leathers, boots, gloves, everything like that. John Wood Engineering, his dad, everybody who's just helped out and sponsored us and supported us. Oulton Park, Thundersport, Aprilia, me and Newton for sponsoring me the bike.
Bridgestone, just everybody.
Well done, Lewis. Thank you. Second position goes to Will Hodgson. Will, that was a brilliant race for you there. You were battling with Lewis.
Yeah, after the first race being wet, and I'm not quite up to scratch for these boys in the wet. Just about round here hanging onto the shirt tails, but no, absolutely brilliant race. It was real close. I mean, Brad rode well, and once I got past him, I thought, right, we'll tag on to Lewis and we'll see what we can do with her. But couldn't get. I must have took about 5 attempts at having a look at Lewis on the brakes, and I thought I was good on the brakes. He's absolutely mustard. I couldn't touch him.
And any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ron Hodgson Specialist Cars, Joe Hodgson, Gibbo, Ian and Myra, Jimmy, Dave Lewis, who does the work on the 450 motors, Steve Day for getting me out, otherwise I wouldn't have made the grid, Acer Compressors and Equipment, Silkaline Thundersport, Bridgestone, Medics, Marshals, Officials, who am I forgetting? Nitro Helmets, one of the most important ones. Nitro, Daisy and John, thanks for everything.
And the winner, David Allingham. You didn't see any of the battles going on behind you, did you?
I did actually, because Lewis came by me for a lap, and I seen Will's wheel coming. I'm so happy with that race. I rode as hard as it can go. Although I didn't get the lap break, I'm still, double points, 4 out of 4 ones more or less, and I love it. Last 2 laps, I just thought I am going to push as hard as I can, and hopefully these 2 boys make a mistake. I don't know if they made a mistake, but I kind of got, I don't know, about half a second, and I managed to maintain that gap. And I come over under the last corner, and I knew straight away as nobody came past me. I thought, yes, I've definitely won it. So, yeah, just like to give a big thank you to my mum for coming over this weekend, her husband David, Gail, my dad, Ian Newton especially, Lauren, Laura, my friends, Joe Cumber as well, who fixed me, got me going, get out there this out today, sorry. And yeah, Be More, EHA Group, Silkaline, Bridgestone, everybody, thank you very much.
Well done, Dave, thank you.
Cheers.
Well, that's it from Oulton Park in Cheshire. We'll be back here again next season. Next up for us at Thundersport GB, a trip to Rockingham from Grace Webb and myself, Steve Day. We'll see you then.